Picture this. You get a shiny new online lead.
Oh, the best feeling.
Right. So you drop their name into your CRM, you save their email address, you hit generate.
And you just expect your AI to work magic, right?
Exactly. You expect a flawless, conversion-ready follow-up. But
Instead, it gives you absolute garbage. It just falls flat.
Because you cannot hand an AI a blank canvas. You can't expect a masterpiece from nothing.
It just doesn't work like that. You really have to give it clear direction.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I'm really glad you're here with us today. We are unpacking Lesson 5. This is the real estate AI workflow.
And our mission today is actually highly specific. We are transforming a theoretical client journey map. We're turning it into reality.
We're building a working lead intake system, and we're going to use System.io, Zapier, and Claude.
This is the exact moment where theory finally turns into actual practice.
Yeah.
We're building your very first operating layer. It's incredibly exciting.
The ultimate goal here is total integration. Your CRM and your AI shouldn't be separate tools.
They need to act as one seamless lead system.
A new lead shouldn't feel like a random inbox message. It needs to become a fully structured record. From day one, beat. That structure gives you a clear next step.
Yeah, and before we start geeking out over the software, we really must pause. We need to understand why the data we collect matters.
Having access to AI is no longer a secret weapon. Literally everyone has it.
The real advantage is entirely in the context you provide.
Let's look at the NA 2025 Technology Survey. The numbers there are pretty telling.
Oh, they're huge.
20% of realtors use AI tools daily. 22% use them on a weekly basis. ChatGPT is the dominant tool at 58%.
AI is literally everywhere. It's completely saturated the industry right now.
But there is a massive catch.
Right. Most agents feed it completely scattered, messy notes. They give the machine terrible, unstructured data.
And then they wonder why the output is so bad. Let's compare two different versions of a lead profile. We'll use the Sarah Johnson example from the text.
Think about the frustrated agent trying to piece this together.
First, we have the weak context scenario. You have her name and her email. You have a phone number. And a quick message saying, I'm looking for a home.
That is a classic weak CRM context. If you feed that vague prompt into an AI, the output is brutal.
It's incredibly boring.
The AI will likely spit out something so generic. It'll say, hi, Sarah, thanks for reaching out. I'd be happy to help with your home search.
Let me know what you're looking for.
Exactly. It's polite, sure, but it's completely generic.
It does absolutely nothing to actually advance the sale. It's just noise. Now let's look at the clean context version.
This is where it gets good.
We add lead type, which is a buyer. We add location, which is Austin. We add property need, which is a 3-bedroom home.
We include a budget of $450,000 to $500,000.
We note a timeline of exactly 90 days. And we add motivation, needing more family space.
That changes the game entirely for the AI model. The AI can now draft a highly specific, tailored follow-up.
You can say, hi, Sarah, thanks for reaching out. I saw you're looking for a 3-bedroom home in Austin.
I noted your budget and your strict 90-day timeline. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute call?
It also proactively flags the missing information for you. It notices you lack her financing readiness. It notices you need her preferred Austin neighborhoods.
It's a total shift.
Think of it like stacking Lego blocks of data. If you give the AI melted, weirdly shaped plastic, it can't build anything.
The clean fields are perfectly fitted blocks.
If the blocks fit, you can build a solid strategy. 2-sec silence. I'll make a vulnerable admission right here. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If my data is messy, the AI just wanders off. It loses focus incredibly fast.
We all do. That is the reality of working with these LLMs. If you give them weak signals, they panic.
They try to fill in the blanks themselves, they guess.
Exactly.
I have to ask a blunt question, though. Why do agents still rely on half-filled forms and memory? If clean context is so obviously better, why take the shortcut?
Well, because building clean systems takes a little time up front. It feels faster in the busy moment to just type a quick note.
It's an illusion of speed.
Completely. And it ruins the AI output down the line.
So bad input basically guarantees useless, generic output from the AI.
Exactly. You're setting the machine up to fail.
If bad input is the enemy, we have to look at the source. We have to talk about where we actually collect this data.
And we want to do this without getting overwhelmed by enterprise software.
This is a huge stumbling block for so many people. They go out and buy the biggest, most expensive software they can find.
And then they barely use 10% of it.
We're highlighting System.io as the recommended tool here. It's highly recommended for this specific lesson framework.
It's incredibly incredibly simple to navigate and deploy.
It handles landing pages, forms, contacts, and tags. It manages all of this in one single place.
Now, there are definitely heavier, more robust alternatives out there on the market. Tools like Go High Level, HubSpot, or follow-upBoss.
Those are fantastic platforms for massive established teams.
But they are absolute overkill for this particular stage. They're way too heavy for a beginner real estate workflow.
We need a simple, clean place to start building.
System.io gives this course the exact right starting point. We're trying to build a clean lead intake workflow.
We aren't building a sprawling enterprise CRM today. We just need a solid data foundation.
Let's detail the shared lead structure. This happens before we ever split buyers and sellers.
Every single lead needs a specific set of shared custom fields.
These are the mandatory foundation blocks for your database. You need lead type and lead source right away.
You need lead status and a specific timeline. You need motivation and their key request.
You also need to track missing information and next action. And finally, you absolutely need a human review note.
That human review note is a fascinating addition. We also need to discuss the tagging system.
We really want to keep the tagging very simple. You use basic tags like new lead or needs qualification.
You might use follow-up needed or reviewed by Claude.
When tags become too clever, the CRM just becomes harder to use. Keep them purely functional.
But this brings us back to that vital human review note. Look at the RPR 2026 AI adoption survey. 82% of surveyed agents currently use AI tools, but 63% cite accuracy as a major top concern.
That's a massive anxiety point for the entire industry. That's exactly why those human review notes are so vital.
They separate actual verified facts from AI guesses. You never want to treat an AI suggestion as final gospel.
Never.
Beat. I have to push back on the number of custom fields. If I'm a new lead, that's a lot of questions. Doesn't asking for motivation and timelines right away scare leads off?
You'd think so, right? But not if you design the form correctly. You're gathering the essential decision signals right up front.
It doesn't cause too much friction.
No, it actually shows the client you're genuinely serious about helping them.
Right. Capture the essential signals now, ask the deeper questions later.
Exactly. You build trust by showing you care about their specific details.
Once that shared foundation is successfully built, the system must adapt. It needs to dynamically shift based on the user.
A buyer looking for a home needs vastly different handling. They require different routing than a seller trying to price one.
The shared CRM base stays exactly the same for everyone, but the buyer and seller paths diverge entirely after that.
Let's examine the buyer path using our Sarah example. We set up an Austin buyer inquiry form.
This specific funnel collects her preferred location and property type. It collects her budget and her target timeline.
After she submits, the system automatically applies a specific tag. She gets tagged as buyer lead new in the CRM.
Because she provided clear data, she's considered a warm lead. She is immediately prepped for a 15-minute discovery call.
Now let's contrast that with the seller path using Michael. We set up an Austin seller evaluation request form.
This funnel collects his property address and his selling timeline. It collects his reason for selling, like relocating in 30 days.
Michael submits his information and gets his own specific tag. He gets tagged as seller lead valuation in the system.
Because he's relocating soon, his next action is totally different. He's immediately prepped for a deeper valuation conversation.
This is where the workflow starts to feel deeply practical. Sarah and Michael are both brand new leads in your system.
But they need entirely different questions and different next actions.
And this is exactly where we introduce the Zapier automation. It's a very light automation, but it is fundamentally crucial.
It's the invisible glue.
We set up a trigger inside Zapier. When a new opt-in happens in System.io, Zapier activates instantly.
It sends an internal email alert directly to the agent.
This step keeps new leads completely visible to you at all times. The client never receives an automatic email from this specific workflow.
It is an internal notification for the agent's eyes only. There's some really interesting research from the Harvard Business Review.
Yeah.
They found many companies respond way too slowly to online inquiries. This internal alert prevents leads from sitting unseen in your CRM.
Speed to lead is a massive factor in real estate conversion. Whoa, imagine scaling this to hundreds of incoming leads where the AI already knows exactly what's missing before you even read the email.
That level of visibility is a true competitive advantage. I am curious about the routing, though. Why are we using Zapier just to email ourselves? Why not have the CRM automatically email the client right away?
Because you cannot fully trust the AI to run unsupervised yet. The AI might hallucinate a totally false detail about the local market.
A human must review the output before the client ever sees it.
Always.
Got it. Human review prevents automated AI mistakes from reaching the client.
Right, and it protects your hard-earned professional reputation in the process.
The internal alert just went off in our inbox. The human is now officially in the loop. How exactly do we deploy the AI to review this structured data?
This is honestly the most exciting part of the whole process. We take the clean lead details straight from system.io.
We grab them from that Zapier email alert, then we feed them directly into Claude.
Let's pause and quickly define prompting for a moment.
Giving the AI specific instructions to get a highly accurate answer.
Exactly. We use the Claude project we've discussed in earlier lessons. We paste the structured data into Claude with strict, rigid rules.
The prompt rules from the text are extremely explicit. You must tell Claude to use only the provided information. Nothing else.
The rules explicitly state a few non-negotiables. Do not invent market data. Do not invent property availability or pricing.
Do not invent financing, legal guidance, or client motivation. You must label unclear details as missing information.
And you must keep the output practical for the real estate agent. You're basically building a rigid electric fence around the AI model.
Let's look at the expected AI output for Sarah. Claude identifies her as a warm buyer lead almost immediately.
It notes her clear Austin search, her budget, and her family motivation.
But crucially, it aggressively flags the missing details for you. It points out you need her preferred neighborhoods and financing status.
It points out you need to ask about specific must-have features.
Now for Michael, Claude identifies a potential high-priority seller lead immediately. It highlights his near-term relocation situation for his work.
The recommended next action focuses heavily on a valuation conversation. It tells the agent exactly what details are needed to understand the property.
We really need to look under the hood here. I have to ask about these incredibly strict prompt rules. Why do we explicitly tell a smart AI not to invent market data? Will it really just make things up if we don't?
Yes, it absolutely will. We have to remember how large language models actually work.
They are fundamentally prediction engines designed to please you.
Exactly. They want to complete the pattern. If they lack data, they hate the empty space.
They will literally invent a confident-sounding guess just to finish the paragraph.
It's wild but true.
So we strictly fence the AI in to stick only to the facts.
Exactly. We force it to admit when it simply does not know something. Sponsor.
Let's take a moment to recap the big idea of this deep dive. Your CRM and your AI are no longer separate, disjointed tools.
They are no longer isolated silos of locked-away information. They are functioning as a single, powerful operating layer.
You structure the data cleanly in system.io first. Then you route that pristine data quietly through Zapier.
Finally, you deeply analyze it with Claude. It is a beautiful workflow.
You transform a random, messy form submission into a strategic action plan. This finally moves you away from scattered inboxes and generic AI prompts.
You now have an incredibly clean record with precise client motivations.
You know exactly what information is currently missing. You have a highly practical next action ready to go. 2 sec silence. I want to leave you with a final provocative thought today.
This is exactly where we bridge into the next lesson.
Now that you have this structured data stored securely in your CRM, what happens next time you actually talk to Sarah or Michael?
Think about the powerful concept of reusable context packets.
The data doesn't just disappear after that very first call. It becomes a permanent, highly detailed memory for your AI.
Challenge yourself to consider this exact scenario going forward.
What if every future email was informed by this exact memory? What if every single text shared this perfectly structured context?
What if every phone call with this client was guided by this exact same perfectly structured memory?
That's how you build a real relationship that actually scales. We'll thoroughly explore those context packets in the next deep dive.
I can't wait.
Until then, keep building your layers. OTRO music.